Hi, welcome. I'm Laura Sherwood, the Firefly Stamper. This is June the 6th, 2021, and today's card is a fun fold. There is the fun fold. We'll be going through and talking about the dimensions and the process of putting this fun fold together. The star of the show is positive thoughts, and I'll be using the dies for this and the butterfly. As well, I'm using a sentiment that says, you did it. And the sentiment you did it is from Best Year. As well, inside, I'm going to write congratulations. And the congratulations is from Peaceful Moments. And so I want to mention that. Also, I'm using an embossing folder. So the embossing folder I'm using is the Bark 3D embossing folder. So we'll be using that. And I'm using the Tasteful dies. I needed a small frame, as it were, for my sentiment for the front of the card. So there is a small circle in this particular die set, Tasteful Label die. So I'm going to be using that. And as already mentioned, I'm using the Nature's Thoughts dies, which will cut out the fern and the butterfly. As well, the color for my ferns, as it were, is the Old Olive. And then I did a two-step stamping process for my butterflies. And I put the stamp in the bumblebee yellow first. And then I just went along the edges of the butterfly with the purple to get the effect that you will see for my butterfly. As well, I used Old Navy, and the Old Navy I'm using for the stamping the sentiment on the front and for stamping the sentiment on the back. So that'll give you the basic tools that I'm using. I needed a dauber as well, a sponge dauber to go around the edge of the sentiment when we get to that part. And I think we're ready to begin the card. I hope you enjoy this card, and I hope you'll comment to let me know if you enjoyed the card. So just a moment and we'll get to it. So here we are. I'm going to talk about the pieces for this card. The card base is Misty Moonlight, and it measures 11 by 4 1/4. I've scored this card at 2 3/4, or I will score it at 2 3/4 and 8 1/4, but a little tip. When you fold these, it's going to fold in. So here's the score lines. I'll show you the score lines that we're going to be doing. So it's this score line, which is 2 3/4. So I'd recommend scoring that, folding it in, and then for this one, just fold it in so it matches so you don't overlap, because you may get it just off a bit and then it will overlap, which causes problems for the card. And then just use your bone folder to fold that side. So let's do that. As well as this piece, you're going to need some other pieces cut. So you need a piece that's 2 1/4 by 3 3/4 in basic white. This is the inside of the card, which is 5 1/4 by 4. As well, the two front panels. So that would be this panel on the card. Now I've got it on, I'm not folded properly. The nice thing about the butterflies is that the wings will fold up for closing the card. There we go. And then this wing will fold up. So these two front panels measure 2 1/2 by 4. So 2 1/2 by 4. Those are the DSP. Now the DSP that I use, a designer series paper, is a new designer series paper, and it is called Beauty of the Earth Designer Series paper. So that is the paper I used. As well, we're going to need 3 strips of 4 by 1 in the Misty Moonlight. As well, as I mentioned, 3 butterflies need to be stamped and then die cut, as well as the 2 ferns stamped and die cut. And the sentiment, that shape I used, or the frame, is the smallest one that is in the, I had the name of it, and where is it? Tasteful Label die. So this is the Tasteful Label dies, and as you see, it has a cute little edge on it. And you're going to use a dauber to go around the edge of that after you stamp it for the sentiment. I think that's all of our pieces. So let's get started. Also, when I do up my cards along with this, I do up a set of instructions. So as you can see, positive thoughts, you did it, the supply list, the measurements, and then the next page gives the instructions. If I can open it up, there's the instructions for the card. All right, so let's first of all just do our scoring for this card base. So I do have it, I do have it scored. I wasn't sure. So that, again, when I fold this in, I'm just going to set that aside. When I fold this in, I'm going to fold on the score line, grab my bone folder, which I cannot see my, oh, there it is, my bone folder. It's kind of dirty. I need to maybe update it a little bit. There's my bone folder. So when this side comes in, we need to make sure that it does not overlap. It can meet right there. See that? So you can see it meeting. And then I'm just going to use my bone folder. So that score line help, but just make sure that these pieces do not overlap. So I think I'll just follow through on my own instructions. I took it step by step. So we mentioned about the fold and also that this is a landscape style card. I am now going to take my DSP, these two pieces here, so I'll move that out of the way. This is for the inside of the card, which I'll move out of the way. And I'm going to adhere these two pieces on either side. So let's do that right now. I'm going to grab some glue. And here's my glue. The opposite side, which is also very pretty paper. We're going to put a little bit of glue on this. There we go. And we're going to adhere that to the front. Trying to get it kind of equal around all sides if possible. Not always an easy task when you're working around a camera, which if you've ever done any taping, you will know that that is the case. So there's this one. And if there was an up, down kind of on the paper, you of course would want to watch that when you adhered your paper. But on this particular one, I think it kind of goes in every direction. So I think that's good. So we're going to adhere those two pieces, and then we're going to just set this aside. Now the next thing I would do would be to stamp my pieces in basic white of the ferns. And so you would just stamp them and then use a die cut to cut those out. So I'm just going to set those aside for right now. I will need those in a moment. As well, I would take my butterflies and I would stamp them and then cut them out, which I've already got done. And if you want, you can take a wink of Stella. I'm familiar, I'm sure, with the wink of Stella. It's the only really nice glittery stuff that we have at the moment with Stampin' Up. So I would just take that and I'm just going to brush it along the butterflies. There we go. And that'll just give a little bit of a glitter for those butterflies. Make sure I keep it mixed up. And then I'm just going to set these aside, and that'll get a chance for the wink of Stella to dry. And as you probably know, that will take your color, lift your color just a little bit. So you don't want to do it too soon after stamping. That's why I wanted to have the stamp ahead of time. But the nice thing, like even still, it'll take a little bit of the color, which actually I like the effect of. So it just kind of pulls the color, gives the butterfly a little faint little color. So you can decide if you have enough glitter on those or not. And then you're just going to set those aside. So that's our butterflies. From there, we're going to run my 2 1/4 by 3. This piece right here, we're going to run it through an embossing folder. So the embossing folder, as I mentioned, I'm going to use is the Bark 3D embossing folder. So I'm just going to put that in my embossing folder like this, and I'm going to run it through. So I'm going to let you look at this pretty card while I run that through my embossing folder. So as quick as that, I'm back with the embossed piece, and I don't know if you can tell what a wonderful embossing folder. Can you see? Oh yes, you can see all the different shapes that are in that, so that's a lot of fun. So from here, you are going to take your piece of your fern, and you're going to actually glue it just up the side. You can decide if you want it all the way on, if you wanted a little off, if you wanted it on an angle, however you'd like to have it. So I'm going to just put some glue on the back. You do want to use something that is going to adhere all the way down, because we're going to be cutting this piece. That is going to actually make our front panels. So I want to make sure that I have my glue, not too much because you don't want it to spill over, but you definitely want enough to adhere it well. So there is my glue. So as you can see on this card, as I work on this panel, that I just took this, and so there it is right there. So I just took this, I actually chopped off just the top. So I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm just going to put that there, and then I'm going to get my scissors that I don't mind getting glue on. I'm just going to press that all in. So we're going to, this will be we're just going to cut off any excess on the back. And again, I have scissors that I don't mind getting glue on that I'm going to cut off with. Dump that in the garbage. And it's sticking, of course, to my scissors. So then we're going to go over here, cut off this piece from the back. And there we go. So, oh, and I've got a little piece up here. I'm going to cut that off, set my scissors aside. Now, what's interesting is you can see this one has been cut. And so this piece right here is now going to be cut into 3/4 inch length pieces. So on the, before the length, so we're going to go 3/4 right there. So I'm going to make sure that I'm in far enough for you to see this. So there's my 3/4, and I'm going to take my blade. There's my blade, 3/4. So there's one piece, and then 3/4 again. It's right here. My blade, I like pulling my blade towards me. There we go. And I'm left with 3/4 piece. So you know they're all the same length because they all came from the same piece. It's all been embossed and the pieces are there. Now when we put these on, you're going to want to make sure that you have your little puzzle. You don't want it like this. You want it like this. So now these blue Misty Moonlight cardstock that measure 4 by 1, we have 3 of those. I'm going to take and mount each piece of these onto one of these pieces. So let's do that. And again, when you go to put them on your card, just make sure that you have them in the right, you have the fern, so it looks like a fern that goes from large on the bottom to big on the top. I don't know what it's like there today where you are, but we actually have had a couple of days of some warm weather, which is totally fabulous. I'm afraid I'm a little bit spoiled because we have air conditioning. We have a heat pump in our home, which I totally love. I have to say, I'm a bit of a wimp when it comes to heat. So there's one done. Now we're going to do this one. So we're going to put some glue in the back. I see you've got some little pieces rough on one edge. If that bothers you, then just take your bone folder or your fingernail and kind of go over it, and it'll rub those pieces off. Doesn't bother me, but you can just do this. Kind of take those pieces off. There we go. And then we're going to adhere this to here. My fingers are sticking together. I'm afraid my piece I haven't got on quite right, but it's going to have to do. There we go. The joy of being on camera and working around a camera. Now on this piece, we're going to put some glue on the back. There we go. And we're going to take this and we're going to match these up. And again, oops, I see I've got some overlapping here a little bit with the piece I didn't cut off. We need to get that off. There we go. And voila. So there's the order in which they're going to be put on our card. So that is our 3 pieces of Misty Moonlight. We're just going to set those aside, and then we're going to stamp our sentiment. So our 10th sentiment, I'm actually going to stamp it. I wanted something a little darker than the, I'm going to stamp that one as well. I wanted something a little darker than Misty Moonlight, so I'm going to use the Old Navy to stamp this. Just grabbing out my Old Navy. Oh, that is not Old Navy. And my Old Navy has taken a little hike somewheres. And we're going to be doing the congratulations as well. And again, of course, I need Old Navy, so it's not here. So guess what? We're going to use Misty Moonlight. I do like the Old Navy. Misty Moonlight will work. So here's our Misty Moonlight. We're going to use this to stamp You Did It. Now, where's our You Did It? Right here. You did it. And you did it right here. So the You Did It. I'm going to get a small block to go with my small stamp. And put this on. Now, it is a circle, so I don't really need to worry about which is up and which is down, because obviously we can fix it. We're going to ink up this in the Misty Moonlight because my Old Navy has decided to hide. And we're just going to try to get this centered. And I got to pull it down here. I apologize, but I cannot see. And oops, you did it, and look what I did. I have made a boo-boo. So we are going to, I don't know if that'll cover up when I ink it or not. I don't think it will, but let's just give it a try. So we're going to take this and we are going to go here, and we are going to just go brush it along the edge. I think I will redo my sentiment. I'm afraid that's a little wonky for me with that piece there, but we will redo that, but you get the idea. And maybe next time when I do find I'll be able to find, oh, and I see my Old Navy. Now I will do that later because I am going to have to cut out again my sentiment piece. And we're going to clean. I always clean my stamps right away. So there we go. There's my stamp cleaned. And actually the Misty Moonlight works totally fine with this, except for the fact that I've got too much ink on it, which we will fix. Now I am going to stop, and I'm also going to do the inside of the card just so it's done. And with this, we're going to stamp it up. And again, I think actually the Misty Moonlight works totally fine because I was going to use the Knight of Navy. But here we are. I'm going to load it. And then I am going to straighten my card. Nice to have these grid markers so I can hopefully get it somewhat straight. It's congratulations. And there we go. And then we're going to, so this is the inside of the card that I'm doing right now. And I am going to glue this one on the inside of the card. I just cut out 2 when I made them. Also cleaned my stamp at the same time, and probably should clean my fingers. And so here we go. We're going to mix up do our stamp, or put the glue on the little fern. I really like this set. It's really nice, very versatile. And I actually like the paper that comes with the packet that I had used out of as well. I should show you the variety that's in that. I will do that. I'll try to remember to do that. So here we go. So I'm just going to put the fern up the side here. So that will be the inside. Oh, you know what I did? Oh dear. I put it on the wrong, if I can get this off. I put that on the wrong direction. So what if we do the silicone sheet? Boy, I'm just full of making mistakes today. We're going to put that there. We're going to put this here, and we're going to restamp. Congratulations. Oh my, I wonder if you do these kinds of things when you're stamping. Always really fun when we do it right on camera. So here we go. We're going to inking that up again. And as you see, I've got my silicone mat because I have glue on the other side. And we're going to put congratulations here. And there's our congratulations. That looks fine. I'm going to close my ink. I'm going to grab a simple chamois, clean my stamp. There we go. I'm quite new at doing the online videos and so forth. So I'm going to take this off, move my silicone mat, and add some more glue to the back. I really don't know how to do all the editing and so forth. So you get all that's real when you come to my stamping studio with me. So there we go. We are going to reuse this piece, and look, who will ever know that that was a mistake. So there we go. I'm going to get this here. All right. And we're going to try to line this up as best we can with the camera. So we're going to do that. So that's the inside of our card all done with a little mistake that was corrected. It's nice to know how to correct our mistakes, so isn't it? I think it is. Now, the next thing we're going to do is the outside of the card. So here we go. So as you saw in the card, we are doing this fun fold. So you have butterflies. You do that, you'd need something small. So they just fold in like that. So this here goes through there. The butterfly wings fold up. And there you do. There you go. You did it. And actually this card is going to my daughter, Melissa, who just passed her insurance, her first insurance exam. And she is working, and they've asked her to do this, and she did, and she succeeded, which was, I knew she would. And so I wanted her to know that we wanted to congratulate her. You did it, and then congratulations on the inside. And I wonder who you will give a card like this to. Now, when we do this, we're going to line them up. So we want the fern to be in the proper order. Now, I always say dry fit first. And I'm going to actually take my bone folder and run over those edges. Now, we are going to put this on, and we're going to adhere. The top and bottom flaps are going to adhere here like this. And then the middle flap is going to adhere on this side. So they basically interlock like that. So let's leave this open as our reminder. So this is what we're working on first. We're going to get these adhered. Now, just a little tip, and I'm looking for my ruler, which is here. And you're about 3/4 of an inch. You're going to be about 3/4 of an inch from the side, and about 1/8 of an inch or so. I'm not measuring the in-between spaces, except to say that I would like to kind of get them spaced kind of evenly. As you see, I don't worry about perfection because I would have to start over too many times if I worried about perfection. It seems funny not hearing, we look after our daughter's dog, daughter Melissa. We have 3 beautiful daughters, and we have a dozen grandchildren, and we look after our youngest daughter's dog Monday through Friday, and this video is uploading on Monday. And but I have to videotape it beforehand because I don't have enough followers to do it live. So that is roughly about 3/4 of an inch on either side, right there. So that just kind of gives you an idea of exactly where you want to put it. So what I would do is do the top and bottom first. So I'm going to leave these two here, and I am going to, and that's going to flip up because I've wants to do its own thing, but we're going to do that. And we're going to put this one on first. Now, when we put it on, I'm going to just match these kind of with the ones that are here that want to keep flipping. Just hold it just a second. I wonder if I have, say, one thing that would work really well is just to get a couple of paper clips, which I'm going to do. And again, we're just working here as we go. I have made this card already, but I never thought of this. So I'm going to, in order to hold my card down, I'm actually going to put a paper clip here. Just do it so you're not going to leave a mark. And I'm going to put a paper clip there. And there we go. Now it's going to lay flat. Now let's put these back in order. Top one, middle one, bottom one. Now this is going to go like this, like so. I think that's close enough. So I want to do the top and bottom first. So I think I'll do this one. And when I put this on, I'm just kind of lining it up on the kind of beneath it. And I know I don't want glue past here. So I'm just going to use that as my marker. And I'm going to put glue over here. There we go. Put my glue away, my cover on. And then I'm going to put this on. So we are, probably that needs to go up just a little bit. And so this is going to line up about there. So, and relatively straight. There we go. So now I'm going to do this one next. So I'm just concerned that I work on the same side and get those two done first, just where the way my mind works. I don't want to glue it in the wrong spot. So there's my glue. So this one is going to go here, like that, voila. And then this one is going to go, oh, I want that under that. And just play with it till you get it the way you want it, about there. There we go. I'm just going to hold that a little bit. All right, now we're going to glue this one, and I'm going to glue it on this side. So again, I'm going to put it down here, kind of matching it up just so that I give a guide for where the glue is going to go. And we're going to put glue here, like that. There we go. So this one, again, I'm trying to line it up along the side, like that, and along this side as well. Kind of have roughly the same space in between. So there we go. That one is in place. So the next thing, I'm not going to actually adhere my sentiment. I'm going to redo it after the video. But I just want to show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put a glue dot on the back, and then I take that off, the sticky off, and I would put it here. Now maybe some of you would have suggestions of how I could have hidden that. I'm going to redo it, I think. And then when it comes to my butterflies, which have flown away, here they are, my butterflies, which I've put Wink of Stella on. And I am going to grab my glue dots, and I'm going to grab my pick a tool here. And I love this. And if you've watched any of my video, I always tell you how much I love it. And I am looking for glue dots. Boy, I've really gone through some glue dots. I need to get rid of that. All right, here's one. So I'm going to take that, and I'm going to take my butterflies, and they're basically going to get folded in half. I'm going to take my glue dot on the back. I'm going to start on the bottom. And again, you can kind of do a dry fit. It's always good. So I'm basically going in that direction diagonally across the page. So I'm going to start here, and I'm not worried that they overlap because the butterflies have the wings and you can lift them up. So do that one. Then we're going to do the middle one. There we go. And again, I'm going to fold this. Then I'm going to put a glue dot in the back right there. And that little one goes kind of in the middle. You can adjust it. Nice thing with the glue dots, you have a little bit of a adjusting room. And I will get yet another glue dot. And we go here, we fold our butterfly, we put on our glue dot, and this little guy goes that way, and this little guy goes this way. I love this idea because to me, the whole sense of the movement of the butterflies from bottom to up is the sense of success for me, is that sense that you've accomplished this. So my little sentiment, which I'm going to redo, is you did it. So there is our card completed with the mistakes that were made, which are totally okay because we need to learn to fix those mistakes. So this is an interlocking card, and when you open it up, pull it through, you have congratulations. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed making this card. I hope you enjoy taking this design and using different paper and being able to create other looks. Now, I said I would show you this paper, which I will do. And so we have the piece that I used. Isn't that pretty with the trees on the other side? We have blue on this side, and look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? We have the green on this one, the trees, and then we have the wood grain. We have more trees. Oh, this is gorgeous. Can you just see that on your cards, making your cards? And green trees. And then more green trees, and I guess we saw that one. And we've seen this one, which I used. Oh, I love this. This is going to make some pretty fall cards. Gorgeous, gorgeous colors. I just love the colors. And more gorgeous fall cards. Oh, I can see this on a Christmas card there. And green. And we have just the other side of this one, more trees. So that is the set that I used. I hope you enjoyed the card, making the card, and I would love to for you to comment and let me know what you think of this little card and how you're going to use it. Again, thank you for watching. Bye.